Morning everyone, welcome back to Calvin, Hidden Sheffield Walks. We're going to do something different today. It's not a railway video, it's not a canal video, but we're following the course of something disused. And we're starting up here today at Redmires Reservoir, although this is the lower one of the reservoirs, isn't it? This, yeah. Calvin. And this is, we're following an old watercourse today.
The original Redmires Reservoir is the middle one, just out of sight behind us. So the lower and upper were added about 20 years later. So the 1830s reservoir, the first time they moved the reservoirs outside of the town, was the middle one here. But they moved the drinking supply of Sheffield from Crookes Valley 5 miles out to Redmires. But they built the conduit to move that water back to where the old dams were. And there's a 5 mile long conduit which is carrying the water in the open for quite a part of its length, and this is Sheffield's drinking water. This is Sheffield's drinking water nearly 200 years ago.
In the 1830s,
so completed by 1836, and it would have been very healthy water. People were getting their water from pumps and all sorts of quite standing water in the old town, and this would have been, you know, what we call organic or something now. You know, they were drinking the country water when they were drinking this water. It was expensive and long to build the conduit, but that was the quickest and easiest and cost-effective way of moving the water.
And that's what we're going to be having a look at. We're going to be following this conduit. I don't know about you, I find much fascinating. Too many hours of my time is spent looking at overhead satellite views and maps, trying to follow things, whatever that be a disused railway, a canal, an old road, and something like this is brilliant because you can follow it on the old maps, and it disappears these days. It's kind of, there's bits that it's developed on, but there's little fascinating little bits of it that come visible again.
There's actually more of the route still accessible and still visible than has gone, which is amazing. And a lot of people, I don't think, really know it. Some of it's in people's gardens and houses.
But people don't want to sit and watch us stand here talking about it. Let's go and see if we can find the remains of it. So Calvin just mentioned a short time ago that this conduit was built from what was, at the time, the middle reservoir. So we opened up in front of the lower reservoir. The first part of the conduit is, I suppose, is lost, isn't it? You kind of, is it? Am I right in saying you just lose it around the new lower reservoir now?
I don't know, but unless it's connected to all of them or two of them, but certainly the original one was that middle one.
But we're about to get our first kind of view of where we can actually see and walk along the course of this conduit. It's like a disused railway walk, isn't it? But it's not a railway. Oh, is this it here? So it's come through the wall here, and it's.
So at the moment, it's in a pipe under our feet.
Okay.
Which I think is. I think is quite modern. Maybe it was piped here at the time, but I'm not sure, because I think it's the conduit hasn't been in use for over 100 years for its original purpose, but it still is a watercourse, so it's still maintained. And
you can see stuff like this. So I'm guessing this is all connected to it, is it?
Yeah, there's bits and pieces in here on this side as well.
Yeah, look at that, like a valve there.
There's another one on this side, and there is somewhere along here you can see the pipe, and you can see the Corporation Waterworks detail on there. Let's try and find that, although the leaves might not be helping us.
Yeah, bad time of year this to be looking for stuff in and around the floor, isn't it?
But you can see we've got a marked out route of it.
Yeah, this is from down the bottom of where we've just been walking on a lot, and you can see, what is this here, like an overflow or something maybe. It's down to where houses now, but maybe it was going down to another watercourse or something from the conduit. Out of the dark into the open. Right, okay, so we're crossing this wall. So right, I can see the two walls here, look. So we're actually going to be walking inside the old conduit now then.
Yeah, so all the way down it was like this, with the stone walls on either side, and it wasn't covered. The water ran in the open. The only protection it had from the animals and the elements here was the walls on each side. It's not quite visible yet, it will be again soon, but all the way down the conduit had a path, an access path, and the water running alongside each other.
I did get some nice aerial shots just with the drone showing this area, and you can get a really good just idea of exactly what it is we're talking about here. One of the most interesting things I noticed from that is you can see bits of infrastructure, old bridges, still in situ that crossed the conduit. We've got one coming up just up here. Closer look at this bridge here, look.
Yeah, so it's filled in, isn't it? I don't know if it's just filled in over the years.
I was just going to ask that. So we're walking on a...
The next one, you can see the passage underneath. But all the bridges on the route had this alignment with a path and a stile or gates, and then the water. So the water was under here.
Yeah.
And these farm crossings, of which there are scores and scores of them along the route, and this one's still being used for its original purpose.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
farmers' fields 200 years ago had this plonked in the middle.
It's not a straight one. You can see that there's curves and kinks. It's following a contour line here. Very, very, very much like you find with the canals. So what did it do here then? Did it go under the road?
Yes, yeah. There's there are a succession of roads, which it's interesting to work out which were here first. I think some of the roads were here first. So on this side we start to see the conduit itself.
Got an awful lot of undergrowth blocking the view, but I can see an arch down there. Brilliant. Yeah, and look at this. Got the channel here. You just think it was just a ditch or a dike, which it is, I suppose, these days. Let's bring you down, look, just into the ditch. Look at you can see the actual composition. Look at the sides. Oh, see that nettle there? Yeah, look how it's layered up. But you can see the conduit stretching out into the distance here, and we'll pick it up on Lodgemore Road. Which is where we are at the minute, Calvin, so we can see it. Look, we've got another of these. There's the bridge here, look, going under Lodgemore Road, and there's the conduit looking back.
Yeah, so the recognisable structures, once you start seeing them, you see how many there are. Immediately there's a farm crossing.
Yeah.
Just
so many
yards away from us. And they all look very similar. They've all got a gate or a stile, and they've all got the bridgehead as well.
You can see it, can't you? You can see the path. You can see the conduit all the way around there. Yeah,
same with the two stone walls each side.
Really recognisable.
Same style all the way down. And we've got a really good stretch here. It's still in the open, and it's survived.
So many of these bridges, you can see them all coming up here. Is this one? We have got a defined channel here.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
Bit of arch there.
Look at that, yeah. You can see that's the first time we've actually had a good view of one of these arches.
The conduit comes out of the Waterworks Company, the Sheffield Waterworks Company, which takes over in 1830, and went on to build the reservoirs we still have today.
Yeah.
All the reservoirs we all
the
know.
Redmires ones.
Yeah, so the Redmires ones, but the Agden and the ones we all visit and people walk around and swim in and all those things, they're built by the Waterworks Company, which runs Sheffield's water supply from 1830 to 1888. It's also the company in the Great Flood story, it's the Dale Dyke, so they built the burst dam as well as the ones we're still using today. But Sheffield's water before that was in Crookes Valley. There's one of the dams still left in Crookes Valley Park. There used to be a whole string of them up to Broomhill. I think there were 10, 11 there. And so in the late 1700s, that was considered far enough outside of the town. That was outside the town. That was country. That was a green area.
Yeah.
But by 1830, that's now been swallowed up. And the water supply needs to be more, needs to be cleaner as well, and it moves out to Redmires. So 1830, the Act of Parliament is passed. A lot of times, this is cholera as well. So in 1832, cholera hit Sheffield, the big cholera outbreak in Sheffield.
Yeah.
But this isn't a cholera measure. It was very timely because when cholera hit, we were already building a new reservoir and a conduit. It's often said that this is a result of cholera. And to be fair, it probably would have been had it not already been started before that. And it was completed in 1836 at the same time as the reservoir was. So this is a long 5 or 6 year process of building this conduit. It's the story of Sheffield's water. 400 people killed in the cholera outbreak in 1832. This would have been incredibly clean, healthy water. This was stuff you'd bottle now.
Well, Sheffield's got the resource on its doorstep from the peaks and
interestingly, when they built these reservoirs, they're way outside the city, the town, the old town as it was. I mean, they're miles outside of the Sheffield boundary.
So we're just we're just walking on the footpath along the side of the conduit, and look, you can see it's overgrown. You can make out a ditch there, and look, all of a sudden, look at this. It suddenly becomes exposed. It's like someone's drawn a line. I think it's all to do with clearance related to the houses that are going to be built on the field next door. But look, you can see the concrete. Well, it's not concrete, is it? The stone blocks at the bottom of the water channel. And you just commented just then, Calvin, off camera, deeper than... How much deeper does it look?
And it gets deeper a little further down as well. So that's interesting, because I don't think it's at the same level all the way. We've seen... It's difficult to tell when it's been when the mud's got in there and it's become infilled. Yeah. But this is clearly the original bottom here.
Yeah, it has certainly got deeper. Look at that.
And quite a fair amount of water in it now.
Bit of a bulge there.
I wonder if that still had the whole bridge structure.
Very much copy and paste little culverts, little bridges, aren't they, these? Look at that one. It's perfectly round, isn't it, that now? You can see all the way it's being cleared. You can see the bottom and the bricks and the structure at the bottom of that one. I've noticed this on a few of them. It's almost as like they've dismantled the tops of the bridges, haven't they? So what's this, Blackbrook Road?
Yeah.
Coming up to Blackbrook Road here. Ah, okay. So that was a decent stretch of the old conduit there. But look, across the road here, across this road, look, you can see it's all infilled. It's all just developed over here, this open space. Blackbrook Road, open space, I think that sign says. And we are coming into a more urban, developed area now.
Because I was going to throw a question out later for something that's been baffled me.
What's puzzling you, Calvin?
Later on, not far down, the footpath and the conduit swap places.
Okay.
The footpath is on this side, the conduit's on that side.
Right, so it crosses.
And I think this might be where it happens.
All right, so is this going underneath?
There's a channel. There's a stone. There's a culvert. There's an old channel, stone lined, going that way. So this might be the.
Ah, so that's not. I've just assumed it's going straight on there.
Somewhere, I can't remember if it's this road or the next one. There's a feature on the maps where there's a sluice of some kind, and there's a bit where it sort of does a bit of an S thing, or Z, Z like that. But this is really good.
So let's have a look at it from this view then. So you've just been down there and seen this, what we believe is now going underneath our feet.
It's taken a left turn as we're heading down the course. It's the path, I think, here, because all the way through we've got the path and the bridges and the stiles on one side and the conduit on the other side. And I know that further down they swap over, and we'll see that. But I think this is the point where it happens. I don't have a practical or engineering or constructing mindset, but there's got to be a good reason.
Hallam Grange Crescent then, and we can start to pick up remains again of the conduit. So it is a proper footpath then, because it has kind of been lost into the roads more or less since we last lost you. Are these like the stiles? These then, you see the interesting.
Yeah.
You'd be forgiven for thinking something sat on here like a pipe or something gone along the top, but this is one side of the bridge, isn't it? This is like we've been seeing all the way from the top end, from Redmires, whatever right of way is going over the top.
Yeah.
Conduit on our left hand side here, and the footpath complete look with it. You can still see a stile or whatever it is. What's the gap in the bridge for the footpath? isn't it, that?
There are 4 bridges along this stretch of footpath, which connected fields just the same as we've seen out at Lodgemore and Redmires.
Even though it feels like we're walking through a footpath in a housing estate in Lodgemore here, this going way back. Well, what's this? This is all 1960s housing, isn't it? You said
We're on the edge of the 20th century development, yeah. But the other end, we come out in a really old part of Sheffield at Carsick, and where Tom Hall is. So Ranmore, Stumperlow, Carsick.
Yeah.
That's all old and grand properties. Where we've just left is the 1950s and 60s development.
so. They said it looks like what we've seen with the open fields and the 2 stone walls. Look,
Yeah.
see we've still got a wall on that side.
And the bridges are basically the same.
Same.
The walls, some of the walls are missing along here, but we're in the bit now where everything's been built up against the conduit on both sides.
And here's the next bridge. Look, slightly more remaining of this one then, so we can actually see the bit that went over the conduit. So it's infilled. Obviously, the little arch, the little culvert would have been sitting just under there.
We've got our footpath on this side, and under there's still occasional hatch, modern hatch for the water company, but we've still got our stone walls, we've still got our crossing, and it's in an area now which is, back then we saw, back at the beginning we had cows still using the crossing, so as they had for nearly 200 years, but here we've got people's back gardens on each side.
I mean, look, this right away. Obviously, that's been still got the gate post side the side, but it's been bricked off now.
And just here, we come to a bit where people are still crossing. People are still crossing the route.
So we've still got a public footpath across. Feels like walking down this footpath, we have been dropping quite considerably compared to the kind of gradual fall that we've encountered so far. Notice something on the map we're just coming up to here. It's annotated on the early 1900s map as a waterfall, and this is Tom Lane, is it?
Yep, it is. And this would have been a cascade at the end here to join the road level.
So what did it do when it got to the road? Did it go underneath?
I don't know. You would have thought so from some of the roads we've looked at further back, but it's cascaded from a much higher level behind us.
It just disappears under the road on the old map. I'm assuming it does just go under.
But it then goes. We've got the posts on the other side. It goes alongside the wall that's in there, and there's a bit here which has never been developed on Carsick Hill Road here.
So it's still on the right hand side then, as we've been walking down. Is this Carsick Lane? Is it Carsick Road? Ah. So
we've got a wall there, and we've got the wall at the back of the properties over there. And we're going a bit off piste. So the conduit is going that way, and it's in there. Wow. But what's happening here, I don't know.
Ah, okay. It looks original, doesn't it? This is old.
There's a.
This is. I wonder if this is similar to what we saw right at the start.
Yeah, going off to the side, coming out at a right angle.
Yeah,
from
like an overspill, smelly overspill. That's maybe just relieving some pressure in, times of high water flow or something. It's heading off down there, isn't it? I think it's coming in.
It doesn't make any sense for water to be coming into it, does it? But it does seem to be. There's a outlet under the road there.
Yeah.
And there are loads of little streams around here. Snaving Brook starts just down there. That's a small. Sick in Carsick is a stream or a brook. So this is a wet area with lots of little streams. Ah. So the conduit has been built on an already wet marshy piece of land here. So. But there's quite a structure here. There's as in several places on the conduit, a lot of effort's gone in to doing something, trying to work out what it is. You can just you can see the pipe. Yeah, you can see the conduit is definitely going at right angles to that source there, because our wall's behind us here. The setup of the stones here definitely suggests that it maybe is flowing away from the conduit. Maybe it's changed later years as the use of the route of the conduit's changed, possibly. Yeah.
So this was the site of a bridge. This was the road into what would have been into Carsick Hall then.
Yeah, Carsick Hall's still standing on the other side of the road. This is just where we've just been inside. And yeah, there was a little access road here, and there was some brand new houses on this side where there was a reservoir. Here's our two walls again.
So this is Tetney Road, isn't it, this?
Yep, we're in Redmire.
Oh, that's bizarre. So just by somebody's garden.
All the way along in front of the gardens on this side of the road. This is the clearest view by a long way. You can get a bit.
Look at that, look at the channels. That's incredible.
The channel's bigger, isn't it, than we were looking at earlier on?
Yeah.
But you've got our two stone walls.
Is this actually someone's garden?
I don't think so. I think it's a no man's land in between the street and the garden. But I'm not certain.
I'm not going to stay. I'm just coming down just for a little look. Oh yeah, it's culverted there.
Yeah, it's emerging, isn't it? It's been underground there.
That's brilliant, look. Just imagine this running all that way.
We're an area now where they've built on either side of it. But it's really strange how why have they done it like this? I mean, they could have moved, surely the road could have been 20 yards that way and had that behind the houses. It's
preserved. The route of the conduit's preserved again.
Yeah, it's like the footpaths and like the bits of where it's just overgrown. This remains, and it remains all the way along.
Do you think is it still in use, not as a conduit, but as a watercourse, for heavy rain?
I think so.
Obviously, the culvert there looked pretty empty. Does that have water in?
During wet weather, bits I see of the conduit have water in. Yeah, I think it's still maintained to at least some level.
Yeah.
I think its practical use ended in the early 20th century. I think it's been over 100 years since it was the drinking water supply. But they've certainly built around it. Yeah, so there's a wall on the far side. It's in there. I'm not sure which side of the wall it is. I think it's this side.
So the road, this new road just past King Edward's School, it's kind of encroached onto the conduit down there then, has it?
Yeah, and at this bit, the conduit went straight up to the school building at the end, modern school building. But at that point, it basically ends and takes a right turn, and then was carried by an aqueduct across a valley. And this is the last bit of the open. From there, it's piped. It goes underground for the last mile or so. And I think because we're now at an area which was developed in the 1830s, which was already developed in the 1830s, Crookes, Brum Hill.
From here then, it's heading up towards the dam. I don't know if anyone knows Sheffield. On the way into Crookes, you've got the old grindstone on the right-hand side. You've got like a covered over reservoir on your right-hand side. Yeah. No, grindstone's on your left. Reservoirs on the right.
opposite side from the old grindstone.
And this is where this was heading for. I mean, I'm trying to get my head around this because
from Redmires. Yeah.
I lived in Crookes for 5 years, and I always thought of it as one of the highest. There's not much above Crookes in terms of elevation, really, in Sheffield.
And we've dropped down.
And how is something dropping to that level? I can't. Yeah. My head can't compute that something's being fed up. Yeah. Or down to there.
Yeah, it's the bottom end of Crookes, isn't it? But it's still high. Heading up as you head out of town.
That feels where we are here in Redmire here. That feels higher than where we are now. So we've moved a little bit further round now. We're just by Manchester Road. We're in Tapton. It's Tapton. This is Crosspool, Tapton. Yes. Looking there, we're just the other side of the school now, so we were just stood over there, just the other side of these trees. And what we're here to discuss now is we're looking right over the point where we saw the aqueduct, our conduit, turned into an aqueduct.
Amazing.
Which a photo, haven't we, Calvin? We can. There's a photo on Picture Sheffield. We can see this.
There is, and Britain from above. We've got a couple of angles of it, and this was the most remarkable thing of all of the conduit, really. This is Tapton Valley, which has been filled in to create the school playing fields here. But there was quite a sharply defined valley here, and the conduit was carried across it, and it's at that point that it goes underground, that it goes into Crookes Brum Hill area.
So it basically swings behind us.
This was the last piece of the conduit to be visible. The aqueduct was there. It's there in 1950 on the photograph, and I believe it was there till the 60s. So a good few decades after it was really had much purpose.
Yeah.
And what a great thing it would be.
If we do a comparison shot then with that photograph, where do you think that photograph is taken from then? Because
yeah, it's this.
I recognise the wall straight
this
away.
wall here. Yeah, there appears to be an old house here. There's some foundations, some stones in the ground here, and yeah, in the snow-covered picture, there is this corner of the property. So it's quite a good then and now. We can see where we are. Probably taken from the road behind. We're only just off the pavement.
So here we are. We're in Crookes, just the bottom end of Crookes now. There is a disused. Sorry, not disused. That's completely the wrong word there. There's a covered reservoir just over there, the other side of these football pitches. I'm just being saying, I used to live here. I literally 200 yards up this road, Calvin. I lived here 5 years. Something occurred to me, as we've been walking today. I used to walk from the city centre.
Yeah.
I used to come up a road called Conduit Road.
Yes, indeed, yeah.
And
just out that way.
I never give it a second thought until now. Conduit Road. That's obviously, we had the reservoirs down at the bottom where the Goodwin thing is. And that's probably a direct line from here down to those.
Yeah, I wonder that Conduit Road, I wonder if that was conduit linking the various dams together in some way, It's slightly off the path of our conduit.
Oh, nothing to do with that. But given the reservoirs and the ones at the bottom that you mentioned earlier in the video.
there were loads. So you're definitely linking them together. No, it's there's a reservoir road along over here as well. Nearby. Yeah, it's nice. I like street names that mean something.
Get my head around something from way back in my past has just suddenly become relevant all of a sudden. Incredible. But that's it. That's the end of our journey, Calvin.
Yeah, I know. From Redmires Reservoir to here, the old Hadfield Dam at Crookes, or Brumhill, pretty much, nearly 5 miles. And a lot of obstacles in the way. So the fields of cows and sheep and all the various properties and the valley. And, there must have been people who thought that was a crazy idea to move our water supply 5 miles out and build a channel that was going to carry it to pretty much where it was in the first place. It is a bit of a strange one, with the same people that built the conduit, built the current reservoirs, also built the one that led to the disaster in 1864, and it's a mixed story, the Waterworks company, by a long way. One thing we can say is they built infrastructure that we still use today in the reservoirs, but also that we've walked along. And we've seen plenty of it still left. So
I hope you've enjoyed that. Let me know if you knew about this conduit, this path of this watercourse, or if this was completely new to you. You might be from around here and it was a complete surprise. And thanks to Calvin. Don't forget, go and check out Calvin's work on Substack. I'll leave the link in the description and put it on screen now. Well worth supporting local historians. So thanks to all my channel members. Anyone who buys me a coffee supports my channel as well. Massively appreciated. And we'll see you again on another story soon. Ta-ra.